Hello, friend. How many times have you got all spun up about something and then later on it was just fine and you just kind of moved forward? But all that time you spent worrying about it. I've been there. In fact, just recently, my family and I went on a missions trip to Mexico. We drove from where we live up here in Southern Oregon down to Mexico. It took a couple days, and it was our first time taking our kids with us on a trip like that. And my wife and I honestly were a little nervous of what could happen specifically around the Mexico and United States border. And so for a few days ahead of time, we got really worried and actually lost sleep. Have you ever lost sleep with your worry? Um, Obviously, we went on our trip. It was just fine. God moved in our hearts and God moved in Mexico while we were there. And it was just a great time. But I was reminded of this passage of scripture in Luke. And so if you struggle with worry like I do, because I know you do, you're human. Let's look at it. In Luke 12:25, it says, "And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life?" Man, Jesus is talking to the disciples here, and he cuts straight to the point. Our worry is fruitless. Our worry is fruitless. Honestly, in that workup before I left, and I'm trying to think of all the different scenarios that could happen. Have you done that? Thought of all the different scenarios that could come up and try to figure them all out? I've justified those before. I don't know if you have, but I justified it. I am problem solving. Said I'm problem solving. Waking up in the middle of the night solving problems. That's not problem solving. That's actually anxiety. And that's what Jesus is talking about here. Where we can get confused is there's actual problems going on in our life. And Jesus isn't telling us not to problem solve, not to be strategic, not to think. No, that's not what's happening here. What's happening is that it's, hey, don't worry. There's that anxiety piece that's with those problems, and we need to get rid of that. And I'll tell you how to do that in just a second. But before I do, I wanted to thank the sponsor of this video, which is me. I don't have a sponsor. And it would do me a great good is if you would hit that thumbs up. It tells YouTube, hey, people are finding value and send it out to more people. But how we detangle the anxiety from the actual problems that we notice, hey, I'm getting anxious. And then we got to name what it is we're anxious about. And I could have stopped short when I was anxious about going to Mexico with my kids, that I was worried about their safety. That was true. But really what was in there, what was underneath there, that taproot that was causing me that getting up in the middle of the night, was I was worried as the head of my house that I was leading my family in an improper way and that it would be my fault if something happened. That's what I was really worried about. In essence, I was worried about me. And I needed to confess that to God. I needed to confess that I was making something all about me and not about God. I was making things all about me and not about my family. And in that, I was able to come back and look, was there any problems we needed to solve? No, we just needed passports, and we needed to actually just go with some people. We needed to be around people and not be isolated, and we would just be fine. And we were able to relax, and God was good on the trip with our family. And so you'll notice these things going on in your life. Whenever there's a problem, whenever you're getting worked up, you can see that in either a spinning mind, so you can't let it go. You'll see it in tightening body. Have you ever come home and your shoulders are all tight up here? Or for me, I get a tight jaw first. Or a racing heart, your heartbeat speeds up. These are signs you're anxious and you have something going on underneath there. That just notice that and name it. Confess it to God so that you can move forward. So I hope this helped brought value to you. And again, there's a video, 1 Peter 5:7. It tells us exactly what we can do. And you can watch that right here. Have a great day.